Hello, this is Jane. It's game day, FA Cup against Nottingham Forest. But I did a video yesterday that didn't upload, so I just got rid of it. I was talking about the whole Ten Hag situation, and I'll just touch on it before I talk about the game later today. Um, those who actually saw my video last week was only like 3 people, but I got my tooth taken out, so I'm doing a lot better now. You don't see the swelling as much anymore. The dentist said the infection was still there though, so I'm still on antibiotics for a little bit. Not that it matters. Um, I talked for about 30 minutes yesterday about what's happening and why I'm very fearful that this could be the end for Ten Hag. Not because I think that we have a better replacement in mind, is that the players still have too much power in this club. They seem like they only show up when they want to show up. It was very, very shocking to me, even though I've seen it for the last 7, 8 years. Um, the performance that they had at home in the first 30, 40 minutes of that game. And this is after they'd done out and they won on the road and got the points and all that good stuff. And they come home, should be able to express themselves, play their own game, and they just were played off the park. And do you blame the manager for that? The question I said during the game when I was watching it is that they looked like they were tired. And I'm thinking, is he being overtrained? Are they being overtrained? I don't think that's the case at all. I think that this is all more of a mental shit. We've had this problem with our team having mental lapses in games when they've been up 2-0, ended up losing some of those games in the Champions League, or we can't hold on to any leads. Against Tottenham, we're up 1-0 and 2-1, and we couldn't hold that game. Against Wolves, we couldn't do it, and we had a great goal at the end by Maney. And we continually have to use our players at the end of the game to win games. And it looked like we're going in that same road against Fulham, and probably had a chance to actually take all 3 points, but I don't blame Maguire for what he did there. I blame the fact that, again, which I've said 100 times in this channel, is that we do not defend the throw-in. And we're so poor when we have our own throw-in. We don't get anybody open. And it's like, teams just know what they can do that, and they're going to get the ball back from us. And it's so disgusting that is not actually being trained in the ground. I don't understand why that's not fixed. And it's still going on and on and on. We had them down there on their own side. We should have been pressuring that to get the ball back. We still have about 3 minutes left in that game, and maybe get another chance and get the 3 points, and we would be on the same points as Spurs. But we didn't do it. And what you had to do at that point is that Maguire had to take a risk because there's nobody behind him. So he goes in and he tries to meet the ball, and the guy gets around him, and there's nothing there. But there were still guys there that could have probably stopped the shot, but both guys went flying past, and he had a wide open shot. I do have some issues there where Onana, once Maguire got turned, maybe he comes out a bit further. I don't know. The fact the guy didn't even have a chance at saving it because he was off wrong-footed. Whatever. So I did that whole video. It wouldn't load. Hopefully this one will load today. I don't know why. I think there was a lot of problems with YouTube, so maybe that's just the issue. And before I was going to after I was going to upload it, we got the news that Maguire is not going to play. It's a possibility that Bruno's not going to play. Varane is a doubt. So I'm like, who the hell are we going to put in the pack for? It's like, so I'm thinking in my mind where we could put this. Can we put Maguire, or can we put McTominay against one of the youth guys at center back, and Delone against maybe Amrabat and the other fullback, and then you got I don't believe that Bruno's not going to be available. They showed a picture of him this morning. They was all happy, so I think he's going to be available. But personally, I think if Casemiro's fit and Manu is fit, then you put Eriksen in front. Everybody said Eriksen played poor I don't think he really played that poor. I thought that he kind of like changed the game a little bit. They actually, Phil actually went back a little bit, and they just tried to hit us on the break. But once they got down, when it was 1-1, they decided to be the way they were playing before, and they just went right through us, and they got a couple shots, and one went in. But of course, we could have scored at that time as well. But we didn't deserve anything from that game. So what do you have there? And do you let Rashford play again with his petulant behavior, and also Bruno with his petulant behavior? I don't know. I think he's going to play him. But why I did that video yesterday, because I think that the writing is on the wall. Only if Ineos actually has a replacement. I think they really want Ten Hag to finish the season and reevaluate it, and then go on from that. But if we get beat really bad tonight, or we go out there and our performance is so poor, and we lose 1-0, but our performance is so poor, and then we get just killed 5-0, 6-0 against City, there could be a lot of people. The fans might go against Ten Hag. But everybody knows what the real problem, the issue is. It's strange seeing people who have decent amount of following on Twitter and stuff saying that they want Forest to win this game. I'm not talking about Mark Goldbridge or Sam Peoples. These are guys that want us to win. The United Stand, United People TVs, all that stuff, they want United to win. But there are other smaller channels, smaller footprints out there that they want us to lose so we get rid of Ten Hag. They never, ever want to give any accountability to the players. The players should not come out, no matter what the tactics are. If you don't like the tactics, whatever. But you go out there and you do not give full effort, and you play like you did, and then you only act like you're going to do anything after you score, and now all of a sudden you're a better team and you get more and more opportunities. You showed like you give a shit, but you didn't do it for the first 45 minutes of that game. And I'm just sitting there watching that, and I said, I've been watching this now for 6 or 7 years, and we have the false dawns all the time. We're playing pretty well. Now, the last 5 games, we were lucky to get as many points as we got, but there were times and moments in those games that we looked like a real team. And but that game, that was like going way back to Van Gaal. It's like we can't control the ball at home against Fulham. We can't control the ball at home against Fulham. Okay, if you want to play that game and all we have is speedy guys, which you don't really have anymore. Let's just say we used to have this. We had Greenwood out there. We'd have Rashford out there, even Lingard to that. And then you just say we're gonna play. We're gonna go on the counterattack. That's what we did on Ole. We did that a little bit on Jose, and we just kill people doing that. We did it at City a couple times. That's fine to do it, but don't act like you. The fact there's no effort to get back, and the other issue is the tactics, or they're not actually doing what the manager wants them to do. I could tell you the last couple of games, and I'm watching Delo come up and go into midfield and going across, and he found himself wide open a couple of times, should have scored. But I don't like that. As I think that the way that we play is we don't have the players to play that position or that type of system. And I think that whether Ten Hag is stubborn or he's going to say, I'm going to continually do this and do this and do this, and he's going to finally get the players that want to do this, or he's got such confidence that no one's going to fire him if we go in and we have a bad run. Now, last year we had a run too. We lost to City. We lost to Liverpool by a lot of money, a lot of people, a lot of goals. Still finished third. But that team is not as good as the team this year, or the other way around, because we had injuries, but not like we've had this year. We lost players because of red card offenses, more than injuries. But this year it's just been a nightmare when it comes for that. And you want to give the manager the ability to have his best team out there. And he's won with that best team. I don't think he's lost when he's had his best team out there. So we're in this position now, is who we're actually going to play. And a lot of players saying just bring the youth up and play. But this is the only real opportunity that we're going to have to get a trophy. But the problem is you're going to have Liverpool, Man City, Newcastle, at least 3 of those teams that are in the quarterfinals. Arsenal, I think, are they in it? No, I don't think. I think they are. I have to look back at it. Coventry City is in it. So if we could somehow beat Forest and then play Coventry, and I don't know if I want to play it at home or not. We just don't play well at home. I don't know if it's the pressure on that. But the thing is the players have to come out and show that they care and be more progressive to get the fans to get involved, because it was a morgue that first half. And they didn't really show up until we started actually doing something about 10, 15 minutes left in the game. And people want to blame Ten Hag for his substitutions. Well, who is he supposed to bring on once Casemiro goes off? What are you supposed to do there? And then he did it. And then, as bad as people say Eriksen played, I think that it kind of balanced our team out. The problem is that we can't defend in the midfield. And we'll see what happens. If Bruno is hurt, I want to see Eriksen play before McTominay. If I was coaching, McTominay would play the number 9, and Rashford would be on the bench. I mean, his lack of doing anything to press. He was starting to get, I'm not going to say end form, but he played a lot well when he was on the left side, and he looked like his own self. He wasn't scoring goals, but he was actually crossing it, and he was actually defending a little bit. But you put him in the number 9, he's just not the same player. And he can be. When we're on a break, he can do stuff like that. That's how he scored a lot of goals in that position. And Garnacho has to learn to pass it. And he tried to do it. His problem is he's playing on a position where he's okay. He can impact the game, but it's hard for him to actually cross the ball from there. So he had a lot of openings where he could have crossed the ball, and he did, and he couldn't do it well because he's not good on that side. So I almost want Garnacho to go back where he's supposed to go, let Anthony go on the other side, or Ahmad, and let McTominay play in the number 9. As crazy as that sounds, I think people don't want to say this. We fucking miss Wout Weghorst because he held up the ball in down there on the offensive side. We don't have that anymore. Not when Marcus is there. Rasmus can do it, and that's where we look like we're always a threat when we get the ball down there. But Marcus can't do it. And the thing is, I don't know what happens with him, but it looks like he gets fouled every time he has the ball, and it never gets called. He's being holed all the time, and nobody gives it to him. Somebody just hit something there. Yeah, it's we're starting to go through a little cold front through here. We had rain, and it was 70 degrees, and now it's 50, I think. So that's what happens in the winter. You only stay a certain amount of time. But I have no idea who the team's going to be today. I don't know if they're going to show up for the coach, or they just decided that Marcus comes out and says that he's all about staying and supporting the Ineos project. And I'm like, that sounds like he wants another coach to come in. It's been, for 4 or 5 years, I've been talking about just get rid of all of them. And I'm at that position again. Yes, we had good results, and some of those were good performances in those results, but still giving up too many shots, too many goals, too many opportunities for the other team. And we did, obviously, the last time we lost at Forest, did the same thing. We had a chance to win that game. They came back on the break and they got us. Same thing had against Fulham. But we shouldn't be in that position. With the amount of players that we have on a huge amount of salaries, you have to equate that they're supposed to be that level. But the thing is, they're not. And we have to finally get past the idea there's way too many people that still defend the players. They're like want to blame ever since Ronaldo got left. And, what's his name? Sancho and Greenwood and all that stuff. It's like, see, it's all Ten Hag's fault. You wanted all these other people, fans wanted a disciplinarian that would come in and do better as a coach. They wanted Sir Alex again, right? But they don't really want it because the culture has changed so much that we baby all these athletes. But you still don't see that for Manchester City. You don't see that for Liverpool. These guys are as good or better than any team that we have. Obviously, they're better. And they get paid pretty well. Maybe not as high as some of our players on this team. But they have accountability. if they're not playing well, Pep puts them down. Klopp puts them down. And nobody in the media comes out and says anything about it. I just sat there and watched Newcastle against Blackburn in the FA Cup, and I think Blackburn should have won that game. But they were the entire show. They're like, oh, Newcastle's had so many injuries, and the media is actually defending this team who's in the Premiership, who finished fourth last year, has as much money as any team in world football, and the media actually defends them for their injuries, and they're should have lost to Blackburn, who's not in the Premiership. But if it's us, it's like nobody comes up. I can watch the entire game, and they don't sit there and say, their season's been destroyed by injuries. It never even comes up. They might say it in passing, but it never says, their season's been destroyed. They'll say that with Chelsea. They'll say that last year they did it for Liverpool. It's like last year, Klopp has less points than Ten Hag has this year. But no one even thought about him having to lose his job. Now, again, he's got a title in the COVID year, which I don't really look at. He's got a Champions League. He's had other trophies, so obviously, but he's been around longer. And Arteta finished 8th twice. Now, there were a lot of fans in that fandom that wanted him out. I think the issue is that people that actually look at the game, the only issue that I ever have with Ten Hag is his tactics. Do we have the players to play that type of tactics? And if he's so stubborn that he says this is how it's going to be, but he didn't do that. He did this last year with all the injuries and all of the stuff. He changed it, and we became more of a counterattack team. So, but there's just no excuse how we started that game against Fulham. The confidence that we've had for winning these games late, showing we all of a sudden we're making score, we're scoring more and more, that the confidence should have been there, having the same players pretty much except for Shaw and Martinez. And the Shaw injury was very, very bad for us. It just unbalances our team, and Lindelof doesn't have the ability to go down there and do the overlaps and all that stuff. And it's so bad. You almost want to have another forward play back there, like Omar. If somebody could actually do it, if Anthony could actually do that position and do that. And of course, we have a problem against free kicks. But anyway, the players have to take accountability for coming out and starting so fucking slow. And it just when they play so slow, the fans are sitting on their hands, or they're murmuring around. And I guess it's cost the pressures that they have. It's just there's no excuse for it. I'd rather us go out there and lose 4-3 in a good game, and then we got called out naivety on something, or the fact that we have a lot of young players playing on the team, we lose. Instead of this, just come out and just play in second gear until now we got to go. Now we have to actually win now, so we're gonna play like we want to do something. It's when I think about how shocking this is, as been a supporter for so long, to say that we don't have anybody, the substitutions aren't anywhere close to what we have that's on the field, and the people who are on the field, the first team, are playing so poor that even the substitutions aren't even at that level. McTominay came in and did nothing, to be honest. He did get involved with certain things, and maybe it opened up things that got us that first goal. But it's just shocking. We played good for about 7 minutes the entire game, and then it still wouldn't matter. And again, throughout the entire game, we were second best, and we should never even won that game. I would have took a draw, and I would have certainly celebrated a 2-1 victory. But people that actually would analyze the team, our team and all that stuff, would have come out after the game and said, we didn't deserve it, but we'll take the 3 points. And it's more about getting the 3 points than the actual performances. But there's nobody, except for City, there's nobody who could go through all the injuries that we had and still be where we're at in the table. It's just not possible. Liverpool couldn't do it. Like I said, we're 2 points above where Liverpool was at the same time, and they had a lot of injuries last year. Not even close to what we've had. And the thing is, we've lost in those areas that we're so thin anyway, And I understand. I think probably Rasmus could have probably played that game, but he can't go in there after what happened with Shaw. You can't go out there and say now he's going to get another injury. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. So, unfortunately, he's not going to be available probably for their derby, and maybe that's a good thing for him. I don't see how we possibly have a score on that guy unless we get a free kick or something like that and we get it in. But I don't understand how we're going to be able to stop them from getting 3 or 4 at all. And the thing is, this year is that City has to continually win because the title race is close. So they're going to just. You saw what Halling did last night. He got 5 goals. He's getting informed to play us, and it's going to probably be. It could be a very, 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 very bad week for us, and that could lead to a lot of people saying it's time for him to go. I still wouldn't do it. I think that at this point we've dealt with 3 managers that we got rid of. I was late in all of them as far as leaving. I still don't think Mourinho should have been fired, but whatever. um, who are we supposed to bring in? Was it Sam that said that if something like that happens, they might just bring in Ole for the last 10 games of the season, and because he's a company guy, he'll do it. Even though he got fired by Manchester United, he will go back. And what happens if we go 9-1 and we somehow get the top 4? They're going to keep Ole on. We're clueless. And I just a couple weeks ago, I said, I'm so great not any else is in there, and we're going to get the best players, the best people in the different positions. And then we go against Fulham, and that we showed up like that. And I'm thinking, okay, if we're playing 3 times a week, and these guys are playing, and they just fell out of, okay. That's not what happened. We're playing once a week. There's no excuse for that. And I'm like, oh my God, if I was in Manchester, I would be so upset with those players. Anyway, I'm going to stop. I think we're still going to win this game. I'm going to say 2-1. I think Forest will probably dominate the game, but we have enough players that can make a difference. Maybe Garnacho comes up with a brace. Maybe Anthony gets a chance to play. Like I said, I have no idea who's going to start. I don't. I think he's still going to put Rashford at number 9. I don't think he should. I think he should let him. If you're gonna start him, put him out wide. Let McTominay play that position or have a false 9, and then Garnacho on the other side, and then if Bruno's available, then he could be right behind McTominay, and then you're going to have the normal team there. You're going to have Mano and Casemiro, but Bruno has to be more disciplined instead of being so far up the field. Let McTominay do that and try to break up the field or break up the pass, and you just play a little bit closer to Casemiro and Manu. Because they're so fast on their outside. I mean, Elanga will probably beat us in this game, like he did last time. So we have to give cover to our fullbacks. We have to, because I have no idea who's going to play over there in Shaw's petition. I have no idea. Is it going to be Abrabat? The guy's not very fast. It's almost like is there a player that maybe like Anthony or something like that has some speed that can play that position, be like Evra. I just have no idea, but somehow I think we're going to win. I hope, because if we end up losing and it's a bad performance, we're going to be probably killed against City. And I said before the Fulham game, I said if we just get the 3 points against Fulham and we end up losing to City, that's still a good week for us. We could still be a good week. We could just shock the world and beat City. City has lost at home to teams they should never have lost to. Now, the problem is a rivalry, and it's City versus Manchester United. And just maybe they're on top of us, and we just get them on the break, and our players actually finish the chances. But McTominay played a striker on the youth team. He can play that position. I think he's going to want him in there anyway. So either that, or if Bruno can't play, McTominay will be there. And then maybe Eriksen. Like I said, there's so many ways you can go with it. And again, I don't really think Eriksen played that bad. You have to understand what Eriksen really was. And when he had Casemiro and Bruno with him, and they had the Trinity there last year, we were like 19-0 or something. And then people got injured, stupid ass red cards that weren't really red cards. Then Eriksen got hurt. I mean, there's so many. I mean, it's karma. I guess we were so good for so long, and now we're dealing with it. But it doesn't excuse not being out there to give everything, and they didn't do it on Saturday. So I'm hoping that somebody with a sense will come out and do something. I kept waiting for Bruno to do something in that game. I kept waiting for Rashford to do something, to be the veterans that they are, and do something. They didn't really do anything. They didn't act like they ever wanted to do anything, and other than get very petulant and just making all sorts of things and acting like their mom died. So anyway, I'm going to stop right now. Thank you for watching. Again, hopefully a win for Manchester United. If not, it's like Forest is not going to go win the FA Cup. Same with Coventry City. Those players are not going to get to the final unless they play to each other, and they might end up getting in the semifinals. Anyway, you guys have a good day, and we'll talk about it after. Bye.